So thank you for coming today. Today is our workshop, and we are we appreciate to be a part of this hackathon and host our challenges. So I'm gonna give a short introduction about our challenges. First of all, the Victor already explained what Qoom is about, and we are hackathon-friendly, beginner-friendly web app development platform. So with the in-app browser, in-browser editor, and also automatic hosting service, you can directly implement your ideas without any installation or setups. So our best web app challenge, best web app with Qoom challenges goal is build the best web app on Qoom. So what is best means that it should be creative, innovative, and user-friendly. So we really appreciate the user experience about the project. And what is a web app is that the web app is built using JavaScript and HTML and CSS. And we also, web app, you can submit the web application and also website. And of course, those project topics should be aligning with the hackathon themes like cybersecurity. And of course, the project should be built on Qoom. Our prize, winning prize is 1 year pro plan with domain name to the team, and also we invite the Qoom invite the winners to Qoom Creator Group. Qoom Creator Group is the program for high school and university students, where they can build a kind of project for 3 months to deliver, and those project or application will be used by our Qoom customers. And also the selected project will be presented on Qoom website. To eligible for the prize, the project should be built on Qoom, and also the project link be posted on Qoom Discord showcase channel. Jared will show you how to post a link to showcase channel. And this is not required, but it's going to be huge plus is that if you check the Qoom tutorial site, there is a lot of there are many starter project and coding blocks materials. So if you use one or more those content to build your project, then you will get a plus point. To submit your project for our challenges, just follow the general submission guideline from the hackathon organization. In addition, include your Qoom URL, your Qoom project URL, and describe what starter project or coding blocks were used to build your project if you use them. And also post your work to Qoom Discord showcase channel. So that's it. Okay, so I mentioned the Qoom starter project and coding blocks, so that you can find those. You can find them at this link. And this is how to post your project to this Qoom Discord channel. And we have a kind of help function. You can create the question directly from the editor. And Jared also explained how to use that during the workshop. And to use our, to ask a question or to share your project to Qoom Discord channel, then you need to join our Discord channel first. So don't forget to join our channel. Okay, then, yeah, Jared, can you, I think Jared, you muted?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then I'm gonna stop my sharing and yeah.
All right.
Can start.
Sweet. I should be able to share now then? All right. Sweet. It looks like it's disabled. Looks like you're gonna enable it for me. Yeah, it says disabled. Yeah.
Is it disabled? Okay. How about this? How about now?
Let me check. Yeah, I can do it. All right, sweet. All right, so today, everyone, we're going to be building an application that looks like, wait a minute, there we go. That is going to look like this. It's going to be a web application as Guy said. And what it's going to allow you to do is create a kind of like a password safe or a key store, a place where you can put secrets and securely in the browser. And we're going to do this in a way that only the code that you write is going to be running in the browsers. Nothing on the server that will ever know about your key or your password. So nothing gets saved on a server anywhere. So I will get into the benefits of that later, but let me give you a little demo of it. Gia, do you want to give everyone a link to this on the chat, or did you do that already?
I just shared.
All right, sweet. So this guide here that I'm going to go through is going to walk us through how to build this application. And it's also going to describe the security implications of this applications and the benefits of it. So let me give you a little demo of it. So you will build this. So if you click that, you'll get a link to the page. And what I can do here is I can create a message. Like I can maybe put my bank password here or something. And I can just put secret here. And let's say I needed my wife, because we share the same bank account. She needs to know my bank password. Well, I could text her my bank password on my phone, but then I don't know where my bank password is going to get saved. I don't know if someone on Apple or Google will be able to look at my password. They say it's encrypted, but how can I really, really trust them unless I build my own solution? So this is exactly what we're going to do here is teach you guys how to build your own solution so you could send passwords to yourself from computer to computer to computer to phone, or passwords to your friends and family, or secrets. Password is just an example. It could be like a gift you want to buy your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you don't want them to find out. So you want to send this to your friend to see if they like the idea. So it doesn't have to be password. What we're going to be using is the Advanced Encryption Standard, the AES encryption mechanism, which is a two-way hash. So what we're going to do is put a key in so that we can basically lock this data inside of a message that is pretty much unencryptable. So we're going to make a key that's pretty long. So by brute force, you wouldn't be able to hack into it within a reasonable amount of time. So I just kind of put a long key here. And I can encrypt this. And I got this. And what this does is it puts this encrypted message in the URL. So now I can go to copy this. I can open up like a whole nother browser here. I'm going to open up Chrome here. Paste, enter. And you can imagine I may be on my laptop and from my phone or something like that. Now, in reality, I wouldn't pick a random string here. I probably would pick something that I would remember, but would be hard to hack, or something I could share with a friend, some shared knowledge. And I would share that maybe verbally when we first meet or something like that, so that the key was never shared on the internet or in a way that anyone could overhear us. So if I paste that key here, I go decrypt, there is my bank password. Now, if I just, kind of put in something else and try to decrypt, it can't do it. It won't be able to decrypt anything until I get the key accurate. So before we start building this, does anyone have a question on what we're building or why, or any comments on this type of application that you're learning how to build? Yes. Hello? I can't hear you. Maybe put your message on the chat. You haven't already yet. No, you haven't yet. Okay. All right. Let me continue on because I know we only have an hour here, and I think we have a lot of coding to do. So let's get started. I'm going to go back to the notes here, to this guide. Go back here. All right. So again, this kind of talks about what I just talked about, but when you're doing cryptography, you have to be paranoid in order to do it well. And it's a really good brain exercise to go through to figure out, can what I'm doing on the internet, can it actually be truly trusted? So with this application, I'm just going to walk you through the brain exercise I went through. I realized that the computer and the browser that I'm using to run our application on, I will need to trust those two things. And my friend will need to trust their browser and computer in order for this thing to really work. So we got to assume that we don't have any viruses, that we're maybe doing everything in open source, yada, 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 so that we can trust what our hardware and our software running on that hardware is doing. The next phase is sending the data to my friend through the internet. Well, I got to trust the software I'm using to encrypt the message. Well, I'm building that, so I should be able to trust that. And then if I encrypt it right, I should be able to safely send it through the internet and not have to worry about the ISP provider being able to hack my message. I shouldn't have to worry about any agencies that are looking at the data, or any other web servers that is hosting the software I'm using to encrypt the message. I shouldn't have to worry about any of these things because my message is encrypted using a standard with a known with an open source protocol that that is known by experts to be secure. So just as long as I trust my computer and my browser, I am good. And since I personally use open source, I know I'm doing a Zoom on my laptop on my Mac, but most of my work I do is on an open source Linux computer, where I can trust it more because I can go in and understand every single component if I wish to do that. So I can get that trust. Tell you the truth, I really don't trust my Mac very much. So that's why I like to do my real work on my open source Linux computer. Okay, so let's get started. So if everyone can create a Qoom account on www.qoom.io, you can go in here and you guys can create an account. And so I'm going to go hit sign up like you guys would do. And I'm going to, again, if you guys are really paranoid, you shouldn't trust Qoom. You shouldn't trust me with any personal data. So I can put some fake data here. I'm sure you guys all do this, French fry. And Qoom doesn't really care if you put a real email or not. So I'm not. You can put a real email in if you want to ever reset your password, or if you want to be part of our communication and want to be part of our community, then it's okay to give us your real email. And create account. Okay, I'm going to do that. And voila, I have my own little coding space now. And I have a bunch of files here, which we're not going to go through today, but I'm going to pause here for a little bit and make sure everyone can create their own coding space. And all this coding space is going to allow me to do is write some code and host it on the internet so that anyone can access the code I write. It's as simple as that. If you really want to be paranoid, you can go to inspect. You can go inspect element, go to this network tab, and you can basically hit refresh and see all the communication back and forth between your browser and the Qoom server. And you can see, you can actually go into every single one of these things if you really want to understand and trust it. So anyway, another good thing to do when you're looking at this type of thing is you go to the debugger tab, go to sources and refresh. This gives you a list of, this should give me a list of all the files, but it's not. I don't know why it's not doing it today. Interesting. Let me go back to the network tab. Anyway, you can go in here to these files and look at the domain, and you can see it's all plush. So my name of my domain is plushmusic48. So that means there's only one web server the site is ever talking to. So it's definitely more trustworthy than a lot of other sites. If you open up like a Replit or something else, you probably see other domains here. That's more people you have to trust. All right. Anyway, so closing that. Did everyone create an account? All right. So if you're done, can you, I just want to make sure everyone's done. Can everyone just post what their account is in the Zoom chat? That just gives me a sense that everyone's following along okay. So I just posted my domain name to everyone. All right, thank you, Victor. So we get a few of these, then I will continue. Okay, thank you, Brent. All right, thank you again. Jadia, Nahar. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, looks like people are doing this. All right, then on to the next step. The next step is we're going to be creating a project. What this will do is just create us all the files we need to create a simple web application. So if you click new project, I think in the notes I say call it, call it secret messenger. So I'm gonna stick with that, secret messenger, and create. All right, and voila, I get a folder, secret messenger, and I have all my files I need. Okay. Now there are 4 files here. JSON's for storing data and things. JS is for writing code. CSS is for creating instructions to the browser to tell it how to style the web page. And the HTML page is just a bunch of elements that instruct the browser to how to actually render your application. So what I'd like you to do is just click on the index. Let's just open up all the files. Index, style, and script. Okay. So then, you just have your 3 tabs here with the 3 files. So let's just let those open. And again, you can always go to inspect, look at the network tab, see if anything suspicious is going on. And it's really slow for today. Why is it slow? Okay, there we're in. I am in the HTML. So let's go to the HTML page now. And this is where we're going to start. All right. So the way HTML works, like I said, it's just a collection of elements. And each element is made up of a tag, a start tag, an end tag, and the things inside. So this is the HTML element. This is the head element, body element, link element, and script element. So the head element just has a bunch of elements for you to put instructions to the browser to do stuff. The body element is the more interesting one because in here, you can put things that what the browser actually will draw. So I can put like hello here, for example. And over here, I should see hello. There's hello. Okay. This link here, all it's doing is just connecting this page with the CSS file. And this is just connecting the page with the JavaScript file. So later on, we can write code in those 2 files and it would appear here. All right, so let's go back to the guide and get it out of this edit mode so you guys can see what you guys are looking at. All right, so we're going to create our user interface now. So we're going to, HTML is what we use to create the user interface. The user interface is just the web page someone goes to interact with your application. And this is what we're going to create. So it's always a good idea to draw kind of an idea of what your user interface you want to create is before you actually write any code. So if you're building a game, building an app, building anything, it's good to draw it out, figure out how the user is going to interact with the page, and then once you figure that out, then you can go and start creating things. So now that we have a page, you can see right away that there's a series of elements we're going to need to create. We're going to need to create an element for the text. This box here is another element where we enter a key. These places where we enter messages are also elements. And we have these 2 buttons, which are all elements. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements we're going to need to create. So let's start by creating the button elements. So to create a button element, again, you just create a start tag, an end tag, and whatever you want that element to show, you just put in between. All right, so I'm going back to my index.html. Button. And if I type too fast or anything like that, because I know we have limited time, feel free to just copy and paste from those notes. Okay. All right, so we're done with that. Wow, we have 2 buttons. Really exciting. The buttons don't do anything yet, but that's what we have. Any questions so far? No. Okay. So you guys can put anything you want in here or in here. You can put emojis in here. You can put, you don't have to put the word encrypt and decrypt. The goal of this workshop is to give you guys time to learn, but also to, play around and customize with things. Okay. All right. So now we have, I think we had 6 elements we said. So we have to create 4 more elements. Going back to my guide. Yeah, we have to create 1, 2, 3, 4 more elements. So this one here is going to be an H1 element because it's H1 is to show what the header, the largest header text will be basically. So secret message machine. And I'm going to create an input to put in the key. And then instead of putting key here, you don't do this for the input element. It's kind of a weird element, but instead what you can do is put a placeholder here. And a placeholder is just an attribute to an element. And this attribute will tell the browser to put the word key there, but if I write something, it deletes the word key. So just a way to put a placeholder until the user types something. And then we're going to create a couple text areas. Again, we have to put a placeholder there. So type a message script, and then maybe enter a message. I want to say, and then you can always just copy, paste, and put that to decrypt. All right. So now I have my 6 elements. It's really like a horrible, ugly website, but if we wrote the JavaScript now, it would actually work. It's just people wouldn't want to use it because it's not pretty. All right, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to catch up and ask any questions if you might have them. And if you've already done stuff, feel free to customize. You can add more messages. You can add more elements if you want. And when you're done, can you in the chat window just give me a link to the actual HTML page? So just copy the HTML page and paste it into the Zoom chat, and I can take a look. Okay, look at Brandon's. All right. Yeah, looks pretty good. Good tacos. All right. Good Nihars. Good sky. All right. Yep. No, nothing too exciting yet. So, all right, good. I'm glad you guys are following along. All right. The next thing I want to show you while you guys work on this is how to actually ask for help on Qoom. So let's say you didn't know what the placeholder does here. So what you can do is you can select this code and, well, let's say you made a misspelling. Let's say you forgot the L or something and you don't see it. You just need help. I said, the placeholder is not working. It doesn't have key here. So what you can do is select this text, hit this little question mark, and you can put a title like placeholder not working. Please, in the description, you can put please help me find my typo. You can see the code here. And if you join our Discord server, you'll be able to put your tag here, your Discord tag, and you can post it. Okay. And then if you go to Discord, you should see that message appear if you join the server. So let me Discord. Oh, what happened from my Discord? Log in. Sorry guys, I guess I got logged out for some reason. While you guys work on it, I'll just log it back into Discord so I can show you this thing. All right, so if we go to the Discord channel, you should see questions and answers. And then you can see my thing here. And then, you know, someone can reply back to me saying, you know, at Mr. Lara, please retype placeholder to placeholder or something like that. And then you guys can get help. So that's how that would work. So throughout the hackathon, if you're trying to code something on Qoom and you need help, you know, you can always post on Stack Overflow or some other way. But if you want our help, you want some more personalized help, and feel free to use our Qoom server to post. All right, hopefully everyone now has the HTML done. We are now ready to move on to the next step. So we are going to now add some style to our page. So we're going to start. I'm going to start to make it look like what I have in the example, but I recommend you guys to make it look different. Pick your own colors, pick your own sizes, and whatever you'd like. And so that everyone by the end of this workshop will have a different looking secret message machine. All right, so what this says to do is I need to go to the styles.css file now and select the body element. So if you look at the HTML, there's this body element. I need to select this thing in the CSS so that I can tell the browser how to style it. So what you do is you basically type, it's already there by default, but you basically go body curly braces. And then in between the curly braces, you can just write the style. You can put a background color, light green, and you put a color of black. Oh, that's the inverse. I didn't want to do that. I want to do the inverse of that. So like that light green and that black. And there you go. All right. So I'll give you guys a minute to pick different colors. You can always, I I know you can always just, these are basically pick colors you can think of, you know the names of, but if you don't know the names of a color and you just want to do a color picker, you can just go to color picker, just kind of search the internet for a color picker. There's thousands of them. And then you can just like pick a color you like. And then usually what's easiest is picking this, what's called a hex number, hexadecimal number, which is, it's basically a number from 1 to F, where A through F is the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You basically copy that, and you can say, I wanted to make that my background color. I can do that as well. So feel free, just pick your colors. Whoops, there we go. All right. All right, I gave you 20 more seconds on that. All right, so the next thing we want to do, next step, well, there's a couple things that we still need to do. One thing is we need to position everything so everything's kind of, you know, everywhere we want them, but we also need to style every single element so it looks something like this, and size each element so it's like the appropriate sizes and things. So we got the size, and we got the position, and the color of everything. So our next step is to add styles for every single element. Now, this is only an hour workshop, so I was thinking you guys can just copy and paste this. They're pretty self-explanatory, which each one is, but you can basically just select this, paste it into your box. And as you can see here, I'm selecting the H1 element. Here I'm selecting the input element. So if I wanted the H1 element not to be centered, but I want it to be on the left, I can just type left here. And now it's on the left. I can hit Command Z to undo. Then I have my background colors. Now this is the height. VH here is just saying it's 50. This text area is 50% the height of the screen. So VH means the view height. So if I made this like 20, this would now be 20% the height. And if I kind of put this over on the bottom, I can change the height of my screen now. You can see how the height of the text area changes with the height of my screen. That's something you might not have seen before. Padding, just amount of space around the text. So feel free to like change some of these numbers, colors, things, and then you can learn what they are. You can also just delete lines to see what changes. So I'll give you guys about, I guess, 30 seconds to play with that and customize the way you want. All right, moving along. Now we need to position everything. So you can see everything's kind of like all in one row, which looks really ugly and horrible. What we want to do is put it all in a nice grid. And what we can do is use CSS Grid system. So if you might not heard of that before, but if you haven't, you can always just Google it or search the internet and read. There's tons of information about it. But basically how we're going to use it is we're going to build this grid using letters, where H is the header. So we want our H1 element to be on the top. Then we want the key to be the second row. So if you look at it, we have our key. You have one row here, key is the second row. And then we have two columns that we have a text area and a button, and a text area and a button. And that's, you can see that. Going back down. So here you have the left side and the right-hand side text area, and then you have the encryption and decryption button. So I just named these letters. And here I can just, again, select these each element and define what letter goes with each element and so forth. So I'm going to copy that. And you can just change the orders of the letters and things to move pieces around then. So you can just paste that at the bottom. Okay. Then everything now is nice in a nice grid. So let's say I wanted to have the, I don't know, the key to the left of the header. I can put HKK here. And now a secret message is going to be to the left and the keys to the right. So you can see how you can make different grids just by changing these letters now. And in CSS, there's lots of ways to do the same thing. So I'm just teaching you one way. If you know another way and you want to use that way, feel free to go with, what you know and what you like. The other thing I'm doing with the CSS in this exercise, you've probably heard of, if you've done HTML programming before, you've probably heard of class names and IDs and things. I'm not using any class name or IDs. Instead, if I want to select this text area and give it a different, letter than this one, you can see that what I'm doing here is I'm taking this text area, that is the third element. So if I go down here, this is 1, 2, 3. So that's the third element. And this text area is the fourth element. So by using the numbers, I can change things around. Looks like my numbers are not right, because I might have done something different from my notes. So this should be 5 and 6. Okay. All right. There we add it. All right, I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to catch up there. And I'm sorry if this is a lot of copy and pasting. Usually, if we didn't do any copy and pasting, this workshop would take like 2 hours, but I really think it's important you guys have something working and you see how to build something that uses cryptography so that you have a place, you have an application framework to hack into and make your own and be able to share it with other people. All right, now let's go back to the notes. And I think we have one more thing we want to do, and that's move the entire thing in the middle of the string. So this one I'm just going to type up. This one's really simple. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see the effect of this. I'm going to select the body again. First thing is I'm going to bring it down. So I can put a margin of 200 pixels. And what that did is it brought it down 200 pixels, but I also added 200 pixels from the left and 200 pixels to the right. So if I do this, it gets really, really tiny. And then the scroll bars appear because I have too much space on the left and the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do auto. And then what auto does is it's going to auto calculate how much space margin needs to be on the left and right to put it right in the middle. Okay. Well, right now I have no width, so it just stretches it all the way to the end with no margin. So let me put a width in here. So I'm going to put a min width. A max width of 960 pixels. And what that does is it will make sure that the width of my body is no bigger than 960 pixels. So if I make my screen bigger than 960 pixels, it just gives you a lot of white space, black space there. But as soon as I hit 960 pixels, then it's the same as the width of my screen. So that's that. All right. So now we're gonna, an application is really not that useful unless it works on the mobile phone. So, because a lot of people nowadays, even myself, just use the mobile phone for a lot of things. So if I wanted to like share a password with someone, it's easier to just type my password, use my app, send them the link on my phone than it is on my computer. So let's make this a mobile application really quickly. So, okay, I'm going to go back to my style here. And you can see this little QR code here. What you can do is you can just click it and take a picture of that on your phone. And then the phone should recognize the QR code and open up the picture. So you can see here on my phone, it's there, but it's really, really small and doesn't look that usable. Okay. So we just need to add one more element to our HTML page to tell it basically make the pixel size bigger so that my app looks better. So I'm gonna hit close there. So you can find that right here in this viewport. You can copy that and go to the HTML now. Now this is something that you don't see here. So you want to put in the head because it's just instructions for the browser to how it renders it. So now if I go to my phone and hit refresh, now I have a lot bigger application. So everything now looks a lot more usable. Okay, and if you still want to change things around, you can change this 2 to a 1. You can use the height of the device to calculate the pixel size you want. So up to you, you can play with those numbers. Okay. All right, and you can learn more with this link here. So now everything looks nice and big. Let's see something. Do I still have my thing at 20%? Yeah, I do. I'm gonna move this back to 50 BH because then it was, I think that was originally my notes. Okay. All right. All right. So now we're into the encryption part. So now we have an application framework. We have buttons and user elements. We have a way to interact with our app. We can then type in messages and write code to encrypt it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another JavaScript file that Guy just sent a link to everyone on the chat. And we're going to create our own copy of it because we don't want to reference JavaScript files that we don't own because then we can't trust it. So what we're going to do is create our own JavaScript file with all the cryptography algorithms inside of it. Okay, so we're going to go to index.html again, put that in the head tag. Actually, what we should do is move it to the top of the head. Reason is this file here is going to depend on this file, and you'll see what that means later. Okay, so then go back to your folder here, create a new file, crypto.js. So now we're going to create our own file. And then you can click the link that Guy sent you. And then here is all the crypto magic. Command A or Control A, copy it all, with Control C or Command C, delete everything here, and Command V. And then voila, we have our crypto, all the crypto algos here, all written in pretty well plain English or plain JavaScript. So if you need to understand how any of these algorithms work, or you wanted to build your own algorithms, you have now a library you can go to do things. So, and you can read more about this library. It's all open source. It's in the notes, crypto.js. Okay. Where did my notes go? I think I lost my notes. All right, going back to my notes. Okay. All right, so now we have our crypto.js library. We can now write code to do things with that library. So the first thing we need to do is create a function called load. So we want to wait for everything to load in the browser before we write any JavaScript. So what this is going to do is going to wait until all the content in the DOM, which is everything inside the HTML page, has loaded. And then it will call this function. So just copy that and put that in your script.js file. Okay. So, all right. And what you can do is to make sure this is working, you can just put like a simple alert message, which just gives the user some information. You can put alert hi here. And then it should ask you hi. So you can, that's how you know things are working here. Okay. So that was a lot, having you copy and paste that crypto library and things. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to catch up, ask any questions. And feel free to write the alert here to make sure everything is working. Let me know if it doesn't. All right. Assuming everyone's good. So going back to my notes. So the next thing we need to do is put each UI element that we want to interact with into a variable. So I'm going to copy these variables and basically go here. And what this is basically is this document.query selector is basically using the same thing I use in this here, this purple text, to find the element. So this input here is just referring to this element right there. So what this is doing is finding that element and putting it in that variable. So once it's in a variable, I can manipulate it. I can do things with it. I can destroy it. I can create it. I can put things inside of it. I can read what's inside of it. I can do lots of stuff. So I just need it in a variable so that I can do those things. So I need to get the key. I need to get these messages the user puts in. And then I also need to know if the user, clicks these buttons or not. So there's these 5 elements that the user interacts with. All right. Now we have that. We can now create a couple functions, encrypt and decrypt. So when the user clicks the encryption button, it will call the encryption function. And likewise for the decrypt. So I'm just a little worried about time. So I wish I would just type these in front of you. Okay, so now to make sure these are working, I can just type alert, encrypt. And here I can say alert, decrypt. So now it says when I click the encryption button, call this function. So let's see if that works. Okay, try this one. Oh, I see. It's the wrong. I think I have it from my notes is wrong. So let's try this again, like this. Okay. There we go. Encrypt and decrypt. Sorry, the order I put in is different from my notes. So 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what is the order I typed them in. encrypt and decrypt. Okay. All right, I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to a minute to ask any questions you might have. And you can also test on your phone too. So as soon as you make a change, just refresh the page. I can encrypt. So I have a button there, decrypt. So it works on the phone too. Okay. All right. So I'll post this on the again, I can put, if you need the code, I can just post it on the Discord channel. So I'll just put it there for you guys if you need it. I know I had those numbers different than the notes, so. Oh, whoops, I mistyped my, well, I mistyped it. Okay. Okay, so that should go there now. All right, now make sure it's there. Yeah, it's right there. So you can always copy it from there, or you can have my link there. All right, next, we're going to now complete the encryption function. Again, I don't have time to really have you go each line really in detail, but what I've done here in these notes for you is translated what each line of code is doing in English. And I did that using comments with these 2 slashes. So I'm going to copy that. That's my new encrypt function. So that would go here. Okay. And then in this editor, you can select multiple lines and hit tab or shift tab to move things around. Also, you can do like Command D to select the same word if you need to change the variable names and things like that. You can do Command F to find. There's a whole bunch of hotkeys that you can go to this help thing here to learn more about. If you're used to like another coding environment like Visual Code or Sublime or something like that, you might see that this editor doesn't have much power, but it does have a lot of power. You just got to know what the hotkeys are. This browser is designed for more of a minimalistic kind of user experience. So you don't have all the fluff you do in other IDEs. So some like it, some don't. So just be aware. You can always code with what you like and just copy and paste it or upload to your Qoom space if you need to for hosting. All right, so this code here, try catch, just tries the code. If there's any bugs in the code, it will catch them here and then let me know about them. This is just getting whatever the user entered into the key, but the user didn't enter anything. It should give me an alert. So now if I hit encrypt, please enter a key. If I type something in here now, hit encrypt, please enter a message, because here I didn't type a message. Now I'm going to type a message. Now when I hit encrypt, what did it do? Well, it called crypto.js using the advanced encryption standards algorithm with 256-bit hash, and it encrypted the message using the key, basically, and it converted the output to a string. And then what I did is I took that string, added it to the query, to the URL. And so if I open this in another page and did this, go like this, encrypt, you can see up here in the URL, there's this and this here match. So this is the way I can send the link to people so that they can decrypt the message without having to use a web server. All right. Okay, getting back to my code. So all this does is it pushes it to the address bar. And then I put the encrypted message in the decrypt text area, the other text area, so you can see it here. Okay. All right, we only have 2 minutes left. So let's just quickly do the last thing for decrypt. So decryption, you can copy all this code here. And it's basically the inverse of the encryption. So copy that, paste, and hit tab if you need to make it pretty. And there you go. You have the decryption. Again, it does the same thing. It does this one extra thing though, in that after the function, we added a line of code. And all this does is it checks to see if the URL has what's called a query string, the thing after the question mark. And if it does, put it inside of this box. So all that's doing is taking whatever is after the question mark and putting it in the box. And if there's nothing in there, then this would be nothing. So it doesn't, this would clear it out if you don't have anything in it. All right, so when you are done, what we'd like you to do is in your HTML page, you can always just go to the 3 bars here. There's this icon here to share it with everyone. So I can click this. I can put secret message machine, put my Discord tag, and I can post it. And by doing this, again, clicking this and posting it, you have just submitted an application to the Discord, our Discord server's showcase channel. And you can see it here, new submission. I shared it. Here's a link. You can like it. You can write comments to it. And I recommend you guys now to spend maybe a minute or 2. I know we're running out of time now, but submit what you guys created so I can see what you guys created. Or if you guys want to spend more time on it, feel free to spend more time on it and then submit. Okay.
Yeah, you guys can take a few more minutes if you want.
Okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just pause and answer any questions. I'll stay after, and hopefully I'll see someone submitted their project. Maybe we'll have a nicer looking UI than I created. And like I said, that crypto library has other cryptography algorithms inside of it. Oh, cool. Oh, but you guys submitted from the script.js file. Can you guys go back and submit it from the index.html file? So I'd like to see the app, not the JavaScript file, if that's okay. I don't know if you guys see that or not. It gave me a screenshot of the JavaScript file. Oh, perfect. Oh, I see green. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I'll play it out. Encrypt. Yes, perfect. It works. Like that. Type something else. Can't decrypt it. Can't know it. All right. And guys, what you guys can do, I mean, if you guys trust this and understand everything, you could actually use this like as a password safe. You can type in all your passwords here, encrypt it. Your URL has the encrypted message in it. As long as your key is really secure, no one should be able to hack into it in a reasonable amount of time to see all your passwords. So you shouldn't need to have a third-party password tool. And not have to worry about all your passwords stored in a database somewhere. Instead, it's stored all in plain text in the URL, encrypted. So you guys have to feel comfortable with that. Okay, let me see what else there is. All right, thank you, Brent J3210. Oh, I see also. Okay, Yuan, thank you, Yuan. Send secrets. Okay, cool.